The International Christian Embassy Jerusalem is your embassy in the heart of Israel, founded in 1980. From our headquarters in Jerusalem through our branches in over 80 nations and yours in Canada, we seek to challenge the Church to take up its scriptural responsibilities, to remind Israel of the promises made to her in the Bible, and to be a source of practical assistance to all the people in the land of Israel.
Joanna,
Yes.
tell us about what we're seeing here now.
So we have arrived at our ancient olive press, the heart of culture here in the Holy Land. This was obviously not a family local olive press. This was an industrial-sized olive press. We have a mikveh, ritual baths in the area. It was possibly that was produced olive oil in the area to be taken up to the temple. So how would it work? Again, you have to imagine harvesting season, the olive trees full of olives. You have come about a month and a half after the olive season. However, I found the last two olives that I have seen in the whole of the land of Israel from an olive tree. And they are literally just bursting with oil.
Shall we mix some olive oil?
Yes, I think that would be great. As long as did you have enough breakfast, Donna? You got enough strength in your arms?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to put these olives here, and I need you to push this. You might need me to help you, because it's kind of heavy. There we go. You can do it by yourself, I think. Okay, now obviously there would be a mule or a donkey. Keep going a little bit. Okay. There we go. All right, there we go. 2 crushed olives. Now you have to understand the difference between crushing grapes and crushing olives. When you crush the grapes, you don't want to crush the pit. But when you crush the olives, it's important because a lot of the oil is in the pit. 30% of the oil. Can you feel it?
I can feel it.
Can you feel it oily? Mm-hmm. I can see it shining here on my hands. See, if you want now, I can take some of this oil and I can anoint you.
Oh,
see, there you go, like the priests and the kings. Now you have to understand the word to anoint in Hebrew is limshoch. The anointed one is the Mashuach. Now if that's the word sounds like into the Mashiach, the Messiah, is literally the anointed one. The one where the olive has been taken, the oil has been taken, and put on the foreheads of the priests and of the and of the kings. And I can see here the oil that is. Can you see the oil inside the pit there? It's shining with oil. Now obviously olive oil was the essence of life back then. It was light. The olive tree was described as the tree of light. It was what was used in ancient olive lamps. We know the story of Matthew of the 10 maidens and the olive oil lamps. And
how about the time of
here, let me just show you here. You can almost squeeze
Hanukkah.
Oh, of course, in the time the miracle of Hanukkah, where you have to realize that what we've done here is we have pressed the olives. Okay, we've just broken up the olives. We haven't yet taken the oil out of them. Think en masse, you would then take all the olives from here. This place would be full of brown olive mash. You would then take a basket like this, and then you would take the basket full of olive mash and more baskets, and then you would pile them up under the press, and then the press would be turned. This would push down, this log, wouldn't have that there, would be pressed down, and the olive oil would ooze and drip out of the sides and gradually go into this collection hole here, which would have water at the bottom. The first press is the extra virgin. Why? Because the lesser presses you have, the lesser impurities come out. The more times you press, the more impurities come out. However, the oil that was being used for the temple was not allowed to be pressed at all. The oil for the temple had to come out from its own weight. There was no artificial pressing whatsoever if you wanted to take the oil up to the temple. And that was very important. And that is where the miracle of Hanukkah comes in, because you think, you just press out some olive oil and send it up to the temple. Well, when they discovered there was only enough oil for one day, they then had to send out the messengers. We need olive oil urgently. Well, you can't just take any olive from the tree. You have to take the pure olives. You have to take the olives which have been checked. How do you normally harvest an olive tree? You hit it and beat it or shake it until the olives come down. You can't do that with the olives for the temple. You have to hand pick the olives, and then you have to press them here you have to crush them here on the press. And then, as I say, you can't just put them on here. You have to wait until the olive oil comes out, oozes out by its own.
For the lamp.
And that is for the lamp, in order to be able to send the olive oil up to the temple. And that can take, as they say, up to 8 days. The process is not fast, and that was the miracle, that the oil waited and carried on burning for the 8 days until the messengers came back with the newly pressed olive oil from the temple.
100% of what we receive from you toward a project goes to that designation. Through your contribution to ICEJ Canada, you can participate by giving to Bet Singer Children's Orphanage Bathrooms, Christian Friends of Yad Vashem, Home for Holocaust Survivors, Israeli Youth at Risk Summer Camp in Canada, Operation Life Shield Bomb-Proof Shelters, Red Carpet Project Women at Risk in Tel Aviv, Shoulder to Shoulder New Immigrant Partner Project, Women's Shelter Project, General Fund, Gift Estate Securities Funds, ICEJ Communication Media Fund.